The Flying Dutchman. His own story told in the hope of divine grace and merciful absolution. Shun blasphemous rage, and pity him his punishment. It was her face. It was her face still, though now white and cold as marble. She would not smile at me anymore in the sweet way she had of smiling, but it was still her face. The face I had seen in my mind's eye, carried in my heart of hearts through the days, weeks, months of my long voyage. I had my own ship now, and was vain of two things, my captaincy and my beautiful young wife, whose face was as innocent as a flower and as transparent as a child's. I could have sworn upon that innocence as one swears by the Holy Mother of God. It was this face that I had before me when I withdrew from my ship's officers and their carousing. It was to this face that I had yearned in the endless hours of the night watch. It was to her that I'd returned at last, my hands and pockets full of earrings and necklaces and circlets for her delicate arms, souvenirs of strange lands to beguile and delight her. How I adored her pleasure in my gifts, and to have found her faithless. It was incredible, and yet I could not doubt it. My mind was a hive of swarming gadflies whose stings were my remorseless thoughts, visions of her unchastity, mad, shameful, bestial imaginings. There was no cure for this but the knife. With one bloody blow, I killed all that I loved on God's earth.
Johnson, open the door.
It was still her face.
Ain't nothing meant to open the door.
So pure. How could it be so pure? It was not a man, but a walking emptiness that they led away to dungeons and courtrooms. And when my judgment was pronounced and the magistrate asked me whether I had anything to say, I found words to speak so vain, so extravagant, so mad. Such fateful words.
The evil is done and cannot be undone. This bloody death I still shall do, and do again 10,000 times before I hang tomorrow. Send me then no priest to shrive me. I beseech no mercy, nor plead any justice. Eternal penance be my comfort. Let mortal fools live in a wicked world. Faith is a lie, and God himself is chaos.
Silence!
Faith is a lie, and heaven a deception.
Silence, I say. Silence!
A man might have immortal life, and wander for all the generations of man over all the oceans of the world. Let him sail to the edge of doomsday. He will find no woman faithful and fair. If this be folly, then upon me proved, let the divinity that I reject make what sport he will of my immortal soul.
I tremble for the soul that will depart your body tomorrow. For the God you have blasphemed will judge your words as I have judged your deed. You have taken a life, and yours is forfeit. Tomorrow you will die. But the part of you that does not die, the immortal part, what of that? He who knows our thoughts, will he not hear our words? I pity you, not my doom, but God's.
I awoke in the dead of night from a deep sleep. A sleep, it seemed, of unearthly oblivion. door of my cell was open. My guards were sleeping as if they were under a spell. I thought some unknown friend, pitying my misfortune, had drugged them so that I might flee the death that the morning sun would bring me. My ship was still anchored in the bay. My loyal crew received me.
Raise up this island! Arms due north!
The small wind carried us soundlessly to the safety of the open sea. In the last darkness before the dawn, while I was sleeping in my familiar cabin, a dream came to me. A voice spoke to me in words that passed like flames through my tortured ears to take possession of my burning brain. I knew without any doubt that what the voice told me was true, with an awful truth. My wife had not been faithless. What I thought unchastity had been kindness merely, the warmth and sweet friendship and joy with which her gentle soul sought to encompass all creatures. I had killed sweet innocence, and with it, my hopes of earth and heaven. I wanted to die. I wanted to plunge the knife into my own heart as I had in hers. But a power greater than my own held my arm. The voice spoke again. In my madness in the courtroom, I had pronounced my own doom. I would have immortal life and wander for all the generations of men over all the oceans of the world. It might be that I should sail till doomsday. I would long for death, but death would be denied me. Yet I might be redeemed. After 7 years, and ever again after 7 years, I might live as a mortal man among mortal men. For half a year I might seek the woman, faithful and fair, who could restore to me the grace of God and the gift of peace. But she must be willing to die for me. The words echoed in my mind. Willing to die? The answer came, so that I might know the meaning of love. The voice faded away. This was my dream. Was it a dream? I could hear the noise of the sea and the straining of the ship's timbers. It was a dream. A dreadful dream and nothing more. But if a man should have a dream, and in that dream should take a knife to destroy himself, and the knife were to fall from his hand, and if waking, he saw that knife where it had fallen, what then? But this was absurd. The knife had fallen to the floor in some other way, not in a dream. Or perhaps, in the manner of sleepwalkers, I'd left my bed and taken a knife and let it fall. My imagination was overwrought with the events of the past days. I would rest, and the dream would be forgotten in the morning as vapors vanish in the rising sun. But in the morning, the memory of my dream was disturbingly vivid. There was no one to be seen. No watch on deck. No helmsman at the wheel. No one aloft in the yards.
Ahoy! Ahoy there!
No sailor to answer my call. It was very strange. Only a few hours ago I'd seen them. Could they have abandoned ship while I slept? But the longboat was secure. I had seen my crew the night before. Was it my crew I'd seen? Or demons sent to deceive me? This was not a dream. I was alone. Unspeakably alone. Was I alone? The helm was firm and the ship held to its course. I looked aloft with an unspoken command, for now we were carrying too much canvas. Unseen hands obeyed my thought. I was captain of a ghostly crew. Was it true, then? The doom that I had dreamed. The words of the vision rang in my mind like a funeral bell. Would I sail alone till doomsday, longing for death, with death denied me? Above the mainmast I saw a white gull circling. Its wings were stained with blood. 7 years and 7 times 7 years I have sailed, my ship without anchor, my heart without hope. The mountains of ice that guard the southern pole crack before me with a noise of thunder. I sail through canyons of ice whose walls rise up and up into measureless mist. Unharmed I sail through fields of ice where the frozen crags crash and mount each other, howling like souls in hellfire. Beyond the ice I sail into tropical calms, where the ship's timbers become trees again with roots in the bottom of the sea. The sun breeds maggots as if water were carrion, and vermin swarm upon us in sheets of hurried movement. I long for death, but death has been denied me. Once in a storm, the main topgallant cliff by lightning fell upon me. In that moment of dying, for in that moment I died, a great joy filled me. I was at last to be free of the burden of my doom. But life flowed back into my unwilling brain. After 7 years, and again after 7 years, I found harbor to see again with longing the lives of those who grow old and die, of those who suffer and die, of those who die. Morning and night I pray. Up by star and star, my futile prayers go into the outer frozen blackness. Down into the unfathomable deeps where black water covers the abyss of the sea, my vain words seek the ear of God. You who have the gift of life, the gift of love, pity the Flying Dutchman, his punishment, and pray that God's grace may grant him the best of all gifts, the gift of merciful death.
Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory. It's beyond nature, beyond reason.